me X such and such amount because I came up with this idea myself.
Yeah, I understand.
And that is where the copyrights and trademarks idea came into operation.
But you see, the whole thing is our entire economy is based on the paradigm of separation of the selves. That there is a thing called ownership, that there is a thing as individuals. But in all the spiritual teaching, we know that even though it's conventionally appearing that way, it is completely false. Because the true nature of all phenomena is selfless.
Yeah.
It's basically, there is no distinct self. Like, just because you made something didn't mean that all those people that contributed to making coffee for you every day, that contributed to having a conversation, that led you to have an idea, that contributed to helping your kids have a good day in school so you can concentrate on your work, didn't contribute, right?
These are all contributing factors towards it, yeah.
Right, so the whole point is we have to start realizing that the whole foundation of the current economy is completely flawed. And as a result of that realization, you just start doing things that while you're in a blended zone, you still have to protect from obvious thievery. You realize overall the culture, what you're trying to push is to try to get you to a truer state of reality, right? So you're not going to go from a real selfish based economy to a selfless based economy in overnight, and everybody's suddenly is so syncopated, they're nobody's stealing anything anymore, and everybody's so noble minded. It's not going to be like that. It's going to go through different gradations of blending zones, right? But as it's blending, you got to realize what the direction you're heading is the polar opposite to the direction that it's headed now.
Yeah.
So, and that is the key, So you take protective measures, but you have to get the direction right. And the thing is, ultimately, the whole truth of anything is that no information belongs to anybody. It's a mere pass through. You just happen to catch the wave that is vibrating all around you. Higher enlightened beings and beings in other planetary systems, they've had these things long ago. We're not that bright. The reason, we seem to be marginally brighter than someone else is because we don't realize how diminuted our consciousness is compared to the vast consciousness in the cosmos. So you're being like the bigger frog in the whole frog pool in the bottom of a well. So that's nothing to be proud of. We need to stop being caveman.
Well, little step.
Yeah, I understand.
It's little steps. Yeah, you're right. We need to stop being like and acting like and behaving like cavemen. It's been a long time. Ooh, red moon.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since we've been dwelling in a cave.
Yeah.
We've since grown up out of that level of infancy.
Yeah.
And we need to start acting like it.
Yeah, and the thing is, you see, even on this planet, there's different pockets of consciousness living vastly different lives, I mean, there's beings, in human body that act like hungry ghosts. There are beings in human body that act like hell beings. There are beings in human body that act like demigods and gods, and there are beings in human body that act like animals, and beings in human bodies that act like Buddhas, right? So the thing is, you're not trying to get it all in when the vibrational frequency isn't matching. That's not what we're doing. What we're doing is that for those people that get this vibration, we want to create as much of a Pure Land experience for them on this planet as we can, and then I could see, the real threat, if it gathers enough critical mass, it could be a real threat to existing economy or what have you. Then some of the attacks you'll face, maybe it's not going to be life-threatening like, some of the people in the old days when they were dealing with free energy, right? They literally got incarcerated. But I think maybe some of the attacks would be like serious virus attack on your website that takes it down so you're not functioning. Or stealing of people's information on the website. Yeah. So then people don't feel secure coming to your site. So those are actual real endangerments, But anyway, regardless, somebody has to start this, And then when the frequency is anchored in planet in visible ways, it has a chance to improve and survive.
And manifest.
And who knows, maybe the first website is not the one that'll survive. Maybe it's the 10th website. And then for the ones that are doing these iterations of website, they shouldn't feel like they must have a fruition visible in their lifetime, because they have to realize they're part of the continuum working toward a Bodhisattva goal, working toward a state of enlightenment for all living beings. So whoever carries on the torch and actually you know, unveils the stage at the end, it's no one particular person's credit. It doesn't really matter. You see? So the more we can think like that, the faster we'll just get to that state of consciousness, and that state of Pure Land, living out in body, you know?
Yep.
And in our tradition, you know, we talk a lot of this thing. It's called yoga of inconceivability. And I honestly think that our Buddha, our teacher was teaching us that. When I first received the teaching, I didn't get it. You know, I said, you know, I have to dissolve. It's a tantric practice. You dissolve your body into light and emptiness, and out of that, you imagine yourself as a tantric deity, and then you just imagine you take all of yourself to Pure Land, and then, you know, like all of it dissolves into the heart, and then the heart pulls out of the crown and goes to Pure Land, just like that, right? And I would do these things, and I would say, well, when am I going to get to Pure Land? I still have legs. I'm still this. What do they mean? Yoga of inconceivability. I finally realized the more I'm, you know, really learning to anchor the frequency in visible, tangible ways in my personal life that works with my karma, you know, the more I realize, like, they're just leaps and bounds of courage and leaps and bounds of bravery that the blessed ones are sending down, and leaps and bounds of ideas that they're sending down that just, like, even half a month ago or like a month ago I wouldn't even think is conceivable. And yet now I'm sitting in the car, we're talking about this, it feels totally like it's already happened.
Who'd have thunk it?
You know, that is the yoga of inconceivability. It's just saying that when we become pure vessels, the amount of pure frequency, high frequency that can come through in extremely short amount of time is beyond a linear mind of conception. Therefore,
it's more when you get to that point, then you're at the point of being able to perceive of a body, not because you need to, because you just desire to have a body.
Right.
And you become more energy based than human, than incarnate based, and you reach the levels of the Bodhisattvas, the Christ, and all the other ascended masters and ascended teachers who've been for centuries trying to teach us the path, and then wondering, why are we not getting it?
Yeah, and actually I'm gaining so much appreciation for the Mahayana path and for the path of the rishis and all this, the path of the oversouls and the oversouls of the oversouls and what have you, because, you know, as Buddha taught, there is no difference between the singular and the plural, no difference between production, non-production, no difference between you know, many things, ceasing, arising, and all this, right? And then when you first intercept this kind of teaching, it sounds very confounding, you know? How is it that there's no difference between singular and plural? I mean, clearly when I get one pencil, it doesn't look the same as two pencils, right?